Hello, hormone resetters. Today we are talking about sleep. And sleep is so important for our hormones. It is really, besides food and movement, a key. And it is oftentimes the thing that gets out of kilter first is our sleep. We really, really need to build a lifestyle that enables our sleep to be consistent and to be uninterrupted. So how do we do that? We build on what we talked about before in terms of nutrition, finishing our meals at least 2 to 3 hours before bed so that we're not going to bed with a full stomach. That is definitely a no-no. And ideally, we're not even going to bed with a half full stomach. Ideally, we're going to bed with a more or less empty stomach. That is best for our hormones, it's best for our weight, and it's best for our brain. The other aspect of sleep is to allow our food to be nutritionally balanced enough so that we have everything we need to make the appropriate amount of melatonin. Melatonin helps our body unwind and get to sleep. Our body naturally makes melatonin, but most of the melatonin in our body is made in our gut. So healthy melatonin levels rely on a healthy gut. How do you get a healthy gut? You get a healthy gut by feeding your microbes. And how do we feed our microbes? By eating a lot of fiber. And where do we get our fiber? From fruits and vegetables and probiotic foods like yogurt, olives, pickles, sauerkraut. Even sourdough is a probiotic food. So we really, really want to focus on that. We want to feed our gut. We want to not go to bed with a full stomach or even half empty stomach. We want kind of an empty stomach. And then we want to prepare ourselves for bed. We want a routine. We want a wind down. We want a preamble to bed. We don't want to work, shower, jump into bed. That is a recipe for very poor sleep. Instead, we want to set a time when, okay, by 8:30, I'm done with any work that I brought home. By 9 o'clock, I'm done with handling tomorrow's things, making lunches, doing homework, whatever it is. I'm taking a shower, I'm bringing down my energy, I'm lighting a candle, I'm putting on soft music, I'm turning off some of the lights in the house. I'm preparing myself for bed. I'm lowering the temperature of my room. All of that is super important. These not only physically and hormonally prepare us to sleep, prepare us for sleep, but they are the cues to our brain to begin the process of relaxation. So here we're cueing ourselves on a physiological level, but we're also cueing ourselves on a physical or biological level. So we're cueing our chemistry and we're cueing our brain to say, okay, this is what we expect after these things happen. So this is super, super important. If you are going through menopause and you have hot flashes, cooling down your room and especially cooling your feet are going to be very, very helpful. Sleeping on sheets made of natural fabrics like linen, very, very helpful. Linen will cool you and it will warm you depending on where you are, but a breathable fabric. Sleeping with breathable fabrics on or sleeping with nothing at all on. There's so much research on sleeping naked actually that it really helps your body to regulate its temperature so much more effectively than sleeping with clothes. All of those things help. Turning off the lights, wearing an eye mask, putting the blackout tape on your cell phone lights or on your alarm lights, like any of those like little green lights that tend to light up the room at night. Blackout tape, you can get it from Amazon, put it on. All of those things are going to help your body to know it's nighttime. It's time to rest. It's time to sleep. And, which is so important, Those things also help your body to wake up, because as the sun comes up and the light naturally increases, your body can begin its hormonal sort of chain of command that helps wake you up. If you are sleeping in bright light, if you are sleeping with a considerable amount of light in your room, that whole process of woohoo, wake up here, that happens in your body, in your physiology, is not going to happen. And that's when we wake up and we're groggy, or we feel tired, or we're just like, oh my gosh, I can't believe it's morning, because we haven't given our body the support it needs to actually begin the wake-up process. The wake-up process starts way before your alarm goes off. And the last thing I'll say about sleep is, ideally you're sleeping between 10 and 2. And I know that that's hard to get into bed by 10. But to think about that, your sleep that happens earlier in the night is more important than your sleep that happens in the early hours of the morning. And the reason for this is because the detoxification processes that are happening in your brain are happening at that time of day. And we want our brain to be well cleared, well detoxified, because our brain is involved in our hormones, in our master hormone, our pituitary gland. Our brain is for our brain to be online, as I call it, is super, super important for all of our hormones to be in balance. Because remember, when we spoke of hormone balance, we also spoke of how everything is connected. Dopamine is connected to insulin. Insulin is connected to cortisol. All of those things are connected. So we can't neglect the brain and expect to have hormonal balance. So this is your session on sleep. I want you to think of 1 or 2 things you're gonna do tonight, and you're gonna build over the next 28 days into a habit, whether that's lowering the temperature of your room, whether that's changing your bed linens or your bedwear, whether that's changing the time that you eat. Sometimes when it's not possible for me, speaking of eating time and eating early, I will eat a really big lunch and then a super duper duper late dinner. And that helps me to get ready for bed. Above all costs, you don't want your stomach full. So think of a few things that you want to do that fit into your life that will help you to sleep better, and celebrate the things that you already do. Celebrate the things that you already do to help you to sleep. And one last pointer is, when you find yourself waking up during the night or needing to go to the bathroom or your sleep is disturbed, don't sweat it. It happens to everyone. It's not a sign of age. It's not a sign that something's wrong with you. And I also don't want you to even consider it a sign of menopause, to put no label on that. Because when we put a label on it, we cause it to be an event, and it makes it harder for us to go back to sleep. So if you wake up, oh, I notice I'm waking up, and then I go back to sleep. I remember this helped me so much, to just not become obsessed with the fact that I'm not sleeping. And this was very helpful when my kids were little, because there was so much not sleeping. And my girlfriend would always tell me that in the olden days, the wise women would always be awake between 2 and 4, because there's something with the energy of that time of day that wisdom was transmitted to them. And so for me and for you, whenever I find myself waking between the hours of 2 and 4, I'm like, this is the time of wisdom. And I lay there and I just let what comes to me come to me. I think of it as a bonus meditation time. And thinking of it that way allows your body to relax and allows you to go back into a deeper sleep once the sleep comes. I will talk to you soon. I wish you all a really, really wonderful, restful sleep. And please let me know what you're doing to help yourself sleep, what is working for you, and any particular challenges that are your particular challenges. And I can offer some pointers. Talk to you soon.